Kia ora team, back here in Melbourne. It's been a while. What's been going on? How you doing? Good to see you. We are here today with Megan. How you doing, Megan?
Hello, I'm good.
And we're
thank you.
sipping on some green teas.
Yeah, it's so good.
Cheers.
Can't reach it.
Bang. That's probably too hot. I don't know.
That's
I'm
all right.
scared.
It's nice though.
I love me a green tea, actually.
Oh, it is hot.
Yeah, it is a bit too spicy on the tongue, isn't it? Do you just want to introduce yourself? What do you do? What's just a little bit of your story?
A little bit of my story.
Yeah.
What do I do? I'm Megan. Hello.
Hello.
I moved to Melbourne 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What am I? I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer.
Dancer.
A dancer.
Yeah.
So I teach kids dancing and I perform as well. I work for a Bollywood dance company.
Okay.
And you can tell I'm saying dance because I teach kids, and if I don't say dance, they don't know
They
what I'm
don't
talking
understand.
about.
I understand your problem. I have to say H.
Yeah, that's a funny one. That's
Because
such a
like
funny one.
with music, it's like the musical alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what comes after G? And they're like, H. I'm like,
Hate.
no, it's H for starters.
Yeah.
But anyway, cool. What got you into dancing? When did you start dancing?
Forever ago. So I started dancing when I was 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
so
type
it's
of
kind
dancing did you start with?
You start with ballet when you're
Okay,
that little.
yep.
But lots of it is kind of just movement coordination and rhythm and body confidence. And yeah, so I teach my 3-year-olds. We do fairy flying with our wings and we pretend to be small and we popcorn and we pop up. And so it's all about getting them comfortable with their bodies.
Yeah.
So I started doing that and then I just kind of grew up dancing and I loved it. And I didn't want to stop. So that's what I do now.
And where did you grow up? Sorry?
Palmerston North.
Palmerston
Yeah,
North.
I grew up in Palmy.
What was that like? I actually, now I think about it, I don't think I know. I don't want to say I don't know anyone that grew up in Palmerston North, but I
You might
don't
upset
know many.
someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up there?
It's pretty good. It's a small town. Yeah, it's a small town. A lot of people that I grew up with are still there. So it's kind of.
How small? What's the population you
I
reckon?
don't know. I should know the answer to that question and I don't.
I've got old mate Google. Hey
Do
Google,
it.
what's the population of Palmerston North?
The population of Palmerston North, New Zealand was 88,700 as of June 2018.
Larger than I expected.
Yeah, me too. Maybe it just feels like a small town.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Do you go back there often?
I try to probably once every year.
Yeah,
go
that's
back.
good.
Yeah.
Is your family, like your mum and dad?
Yeah, all
still
my
there?
family's still there. Lots of my best friends are still there. So there's still quite a network of people there for me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's
If,
not.
if you do go
it's
back to New Zealand, is that the main place you
Yeah.
base yourself?
Yeah, Palmy.
What's your flying route then? Do you fly into Auckland?
I fly Wellington usually.
Oh yeah. Is that direct?
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah.
Melbourne to Wellington's direct, and then you
Yeah.
just kind of get a bus or a
How far
whatever.
is Palmy from Wellington?
2-hour drive.
Okay.
It's not far.
That's chill.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Nice. Okay, so
Yeah.
you started doing dancing when you were 3.
Mhm.
That was fun.
It was fun.
And
It's
then
good.
so you obviously enjoyed that, and then what happened from there? Ballet.
Yeah, so ballet for a while, picked up some other styles like jazz and tap and things. And then when I turned, I'm going to say 16, I started teaching.
Really?
Yeah, so
Nice.
I kind of got taken on as like a senior student. So I was helping to teach, which was cool.
Yeah.
And then
Who were you teaching? Like
teaching kids, teaching people
Young
my
kids?
age. Yeah, my age, from about 3 up to my age.
Right.
And then I started teaching adults as well.
Ooh.
So that was a little bit of a weird
Yeah, is that
power
weird
trip.
dynamic?
It was
eh?
weird because I was young, like I was 15,
Yeah.
16. So that was weird. But I really enjoyed that. And then when I moved to Dunedin after that and studied a Bachelor of Performing Arts.
Yeah.
So I kind of just fell in love with it and decided it was what I wanted to do. Forever.
What was there a turning point? When did you decide you wanted to do that?
I don't really know. I don't think there was a turning point and such. It was more just kind of like
A realization that you love it.
and this this thing that I just like always done.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just kept doing, and it was time to go and
It's weird, eh?
study, and I was like, I guess that's what
It's
I'll
weird
do.
how like hobbies can like expand just into
Yeah.
your life.
And, like-
your life decision.
like dance especially, like I see it in some of the studios that I teach at over here. It's this whole community. So like you see the teachers all the time, like
Yeah.
us teachers are really close. So it just becomes this kind of community. And when you're a part of that, you almost want to stay a part of that. And so you kind of, it's not just like you go to your dance lesson once a week. You're definitely a part of a community. Like it's a way of life and it's something that kind of
I feel you.
follows you.
So, when you said you studied a Bachelor of Performing Arts, was that right?
Yeah.
Was there a major in that, or?
No. So it's split across dance, drama, and music.
Oh,
So
okay.
you study all three things equally
Yeah.
through the university.
Were you leaning more towards the dance side? Do you get to choose that, or is it actually just?
So there are some set papers, but it's pretty like chill. But
Mm-hmm.
I only did one dance paper in my whole degree, and the rest
really?
the rest of it was all like music and theatre.
Yeah.
And I did lots of dancing outside of uni, so I would kind of go to classes, and there's a dance student kind of collective, and we would do dance classes there.
Yeah. Were you
people.
teaching while you were at uni?
Yeah.
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 Good side cash.
Teaching. No, I did it voluntarily.
Oh well.
Yeah,
good on
that's
you.
that's how much I love it. Like
Yeah.
I made no money for it for a very long time.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah.
good stuff. Was the transition quite hard to bring your dancing skills over here? What did that encompass?
It kind of was. I got pretty comfortable in Dunedin. Like by the time I left, I was pretty well known. Like I was walking home at like 1 a.m. as you do when you're a student.
Yeah.
And I got stopped in the middle of the street, and this guy was like, "Hey, that's that dancer girl."
Yeah.
At 1 a.m. by someone I'd never seen before. So I got pretty well known for like big dancing.
Yeah.
And, and so I would often get asked to do shows, which was cool and really good, except that when I moved here, I hadn't auditioned for anything in such a long time that I'd kind of forgotten how.
Yeah, right.
So I got here and I was like, oh, I've got all this experience and kind of had no skills to be able to show that to people. And it was pretty disheartening because I'd apply for things with no kind of, nothing underneath me. And so I'd get a lot of like rejection letters at first being like, yeah. But
That's the game.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta just need a foot in the door, eh?
And it's always a hustle. Like you've always
It
got to
is.
meet people. You've always got to network. You've always got to
It seems like
like.
for me, because I'm in the music industry, it's like it just seems definitely more about who you know and getting that foot in the door.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the hard part. But then, it's always hard. It's
always hard, yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
the arts industries are just hard lifestyle to lead, I guess.
But I think you're right. Like once you meet that person who can get you some like a foot in the door, get you a show, from then you meet other people doing that show. So then they offer you work, and if you offer them work, then it all kind of
Yeah, dot to dot. Bang.
Yeah,
It's all
exactly. And it all kind of rolls from there. Like the
Yeah.
more that people know what you do and who you are, the
Yeah.
more that they're willing to kind of give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
So
So
Yeah, I
you're
agree.
you're teaching over here, yeah?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
how did you get into that?
So
Because you said you got a few rejection letters and stuff.
I
What was
did.
that? What was that for?
So lots of that is teaching. Lots of that is performance
Okay.
stuff as well. So in terms of teaching, I applied kind of out of the blue for like a Saturday morning teaching job, and I was like, oh, I probably won't get it, and it just came up on Facebook.
Yeah,
of all places, and so I applied for it, and I ended up getting it, and that was a year ago,
Mhm.
a year and a half ago. And then the same thing happened. Another kind of job came up on Facebook that they were looking for a teacher.
Yeah.
And so I got that one as well. And so now I teach at 2 different studios,
Yeah, right.
which is cool. It's good fun.
Facebook, eh? Providing the
Yeah,
goods.
Yeah.
Was it like a certain page or
It's
a
a
group?
group.
Yeah.
It's a group.
What is it?
It's literally called like Dance Teachers Melbourne.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. 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 And they just come up with like, we're looking for a teacher on these days in this area. Like, or lots of advice as well. Like it'll be like, hey, I've got this really troublesome class of
Yeah, right.
6-year-old boys.
A community of sorts.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So how often are you teaching?
So I'm teaching 4 days a week, but
Yeah.
it picks up.
In
It always
schools?
picks up. No, at studios, so at dance studios, and
Okay.
they come to me.
All right. So
Learn.
is it during school time or is it after?
During school terms, after skirm, after skirm,
Skirm.
after skirm,
Skirm.
after school.
Yeah.
But in the
In the
school
studio.
term.
Okay.
Yeah.
How big are your classes?
Some are huge, some are like 10, and some are 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a certain type of dance that you're teaching or is
So
it
I'm-
just dance in general?
A whole lot. So I teach tap, I teach jazz, I teach ballet, I teach hip hop, I
Okay.
teach.
But kids are signing up for a certain dance
Yeah,
form.
they are.
They're
Yeah.
like, okay, I want to learn
I
how to
wanna
tap
learn,
dance.
yeah.
Bang. And then
Yeah.
you're like, yo, I'll suss you
That's
out.
cool. Let's tap dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a preferred?
No, I actually don't.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite.
What do you find kids are most interested in then? Like, what are they signing up for the most?
I don't know. It's a bit tough. Like when I was learning dancing, you kind of did your ballet and then moved on from there. And now lots of kids are coming in wanting to do like acrobatics and like acro balance and
What
acro
is that?
arts. It's
What's
like
that?
tricks and flips and
Ah,
all
okay.
sorts. And so all of that stuff is really prevalent at the moment.
Yeah.
And the one that I find kind of that takes away from in a way is tap dancing. Like lots of people are coming in wanting to do all these other styles, to do tricks and flips and whatever, which then means that my little tappers are like the numbers decrease.
Yeah,
a lot.
right. So it's stealing from the tap
Yeah.
dancing.
Well, I don't think it's stealing from the tap dancing. It's just interesting to see that kind of the difference in the way that the industry is going.
Right.
Almost there's like a less, I don't know, tap is something that's kind of classic and very timeless.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just not very popular right now.
Right.
So
Well, maybe you could assimilate it to like classical music then a little
Mm.
bit.
kind of, yeah. Tap and musical theatre kind of go hand in hand. So
Right.
it's one of those things that will always exist, but is sometimes a bit less popular than, especially for kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Like lots of adults come in wanting to tap,
yeah.
but lots
right.
of kids are.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What other? How many different dance forms are there? If you can
Oh,
quantify it.
I don't know. Far too many.
Yeah.
Because you took like, what do you consider a dance form? Do you know what I
Well,
mean? Like if you're a student,
That is
at
true.
3
Like, what
a.m.
is the definition of a dance form? I don't know. I would have thought like, if I could pick a certain type of dance form to learn, that's
Mhm.
how I would like define it. I guess.
But do you then count communities in West Africa, for example,
Mhm.
that grow up? They don't go to a dance school to learn.
yeah,
They
yeah,
just like
that's true.
they just boogie.
But
They
I
just
would-
learn how to dance for cultural reasons.
Yeah, I would say that's cultural dancing. Like, I would call it West African dancing then, if you're gonna put a culture
Yeah,
behind it.
I
You
c-
know?
yeah, but then I don't know. It's a tough one. It opens a whole can of worms as to what
yeah.
what's dancing and what's not.
I feel I
And
feel
like, so in uni, we were studying things. We were studying the one dance paper that I took was studying like movement as dance. So
Okay,
then you'd
yep.
look at like rock climbing,
Mhm.
for example. Like, do you consider that dance because it's a type of movement and you're
right.
using the body?
You can
and
depends how broad you want to get on the definition
exactly.
of dance.
Yeah. So it really depends what you're looking for.
Yeah, interesting. Movement is dance. In the same way, did you kind of, because in that paper,
Mm.
were you even considering like running as a dance form? then?
Everything.
Right.
Yeah. Everything.
Okay. So the only time you're not dancing is when you're sleeping, or is that a dance?
Well, exactly. This is the question. Hey, this is the question.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Cool. In terms of performance wise over here,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Mm.
What's
You
the
gonna put
scene
my tea
like?
down?
Yeah.
What's the scene like? I don't know. So I do a couple of things. So I'm part of a Bollywood
Yeah,
and
yeah,
belly
that's what you
dance
said.
company.
What's that then?
So we do Bollywood, like Indian style
Yeah. Whereabouts? Like
dancing.
on stages or?
Yeah,
like-
so we do lots of private functions. We do like weddings and birthday parties and restaurant openings. So I've danced at like Indian restaurants while people are having dinner
Yeah.
and yeah, so we do stuff like that. Lots of
it
private
acts-
functions.
Does it act as like an agency then? So like someone will come to this Bollywood company and be like, "Oh, we're looking for some dancers," and then they'll be like,
Kind of, yeah.
disperse their dancers out.
We get booked for events and they'll say like we want 5 dancers to do fire twirling and Bollywood
Okay.
or belly dancing and
Yeah.
Latin or whatever else. So we do a range of stuff.
How many dancers are on the roster at this Bollywood?
I don't know. I think there was 10 of us for a while,
Okay.
but I'm not sure at the moment.
Yeah.
Lots of us.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's a pretty big company.
Okay. Cool.
Nice.
And you could get sent out in groups of maximum
from 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
it really depends on what the client is looking for.
What's the change in dynamic when you're performing as an individual compared to performing as a group?
It depends. So
Just from your personal opinion.
I think in terms of this sort of stuff, the smallest. So I've danced with one other person for Bollywood, which is always a little bit like kind of more intimate, and you do smaller venues. Whereas like bigger groups are kind of more flashy, but you've also, as like a dancer, you've got to work harder to make sure you're in line with everyone else.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so it really depends on what you're looking for. Like in saying that, I do a lot of cabaret stuff as well.
Oh, okay.
And that stuff I almost always do solo.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, so that's a really kind of different dynamic
Well,
from doing that to
what is cabaret? Could you just go into a little bit of cabaret dancing description?
Yeah, of course. So a cabaret is almost like a flashed up variety show.
Okay.
So it's kind of like vaudeville and cabaret traditionally are just like a hodgepodge of music and burlesque and dance and theatre and magic and comedy and all sorts of things. And they were often quite political,
Right.
really political, especially in like Berlin during like World War II,
Right.
things like that.
How does, I don't know if this is a good question or not, but how does dancing, like, how do you translate politics into dancing? Or is it more the theatre, like the talking side of it?
Both.
Right.
I guess a weird example that comes to me is like Fraser Anning being egged.
Okay.
If that happened and that was a big thing in the news, and then I did a dance that was like juggling eggs and ended up cracking eggs all over my head and held up a sign that said, "Hello, I'm Fraser." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I get you. So like it's a dramatic representation more.
Sort of. It can be. I think in terms of cabaret, I use dance more. So I do like burlesque, and the dancing that I do becomes more like of a medium to get a message across almost.
Is there a certain message that you're trying to portray, or
depending on the show?
Okay,
depending on the show, yeah.
And you said this is mainly done individually, this type of dance?
Depending.
It's depending. Yeah.
Because it's like
You're saying that you mainly do it.
So I mainly do it individually.
Yeah.
But because it's such a variety show, it can literally be anything.
Okay. Well, how often do you perform for that then?
So I do lots of different ones. I've got a couple coming up. I produce one at the end of every month. So on the last Saturday of the month, and it's based on the 7 deadly sins. Okay. Which is cool.
So you're like targeting one sin each?
Yes, yeah. So there's usually about five to kind of 10 performers. And we get one sin each and we all do whatever we want. So there's been all sorts on stage. Like for gluttony one time I sat on the stage and ate a cheeseburger for 3 minutes. Like it can honestly be anything. And there's been all sorts. There's been we've had fire twirlers, like people doing flips and crazy shenanigans like that. And then people that there's drag kings and queens. It's beautiful. It's a big mishmash.
Whereabouts are you doing these performances then? Are just all over the show?
Yeah, so all
Melbourne?
over. Yeah, there's a couple of really good cabaret theatres in Melbourne. The one I perform at most is called Club Voltaire. Okay. And so it's in North Melbourne.
Yep.
And so that's where I put on my little shindig, so that's cool.
Cool.
That's fun.
Could you run us through a day in the life of Megan before she dances?
Oh my goodness. It depends what day.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. You're doing different styles.
I do so much.
Let's talk about this North Melbourne venue then. You got a little, you call them gigs?
I call them shows.
Shows.
Because if I go to watch a band play, I say I'm going to a gig.
Okay. So you got a show on in this North Melbourne place. What was the name of it again?
Club Voltaire.
Cool. So you got a show on there, and then how do you get ready for this? Let's say it's one of the 7 deadly sins. Let's just talk about the breed show. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like a lot, because I produce it as well. A lot of it is like, oh my gosh, I've forgotten to do the run sheet or to organize this or whatever. So there's a lot of that kind of panic. And then I just put on my makeup and organize everyone, make sure we've got the music ready, make sure everything's good to go, get to the theatre.
How do you choose your makeup?
How do I choose my makeup? Oh, I don't know.
And how do you choose your costume?
It depends on the act.
Okay.
It depends. So like...
But it's up to you? Like you get to choose what you wear?
Yeah. So lots of this stuff is my own kind of creation. Mm-hmm. And same for a lot of my performers. So like we often have, I guess you'd call them alter egos and like performer like personalities. So mine is called like Stella Del Lure.
Okay.
Is my performer personality, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I've got like a little wig that I wear that's like a certain color and a certain shape that I know. And as soon as that wig is on my head, like I'm Stella, like I'm a whole different person. So then that kind of helps to create what I want to wear and what I want to do.
So how did you create Stella?
Oh, do you know Dog with Two Tails in Dunedin?
I do.
So do you know Lads on Tour?
No.
Okay. So there's a cabaret series in Dunedin and Christchurch called Lads on Tour. And so that's how I started doing cabaret stuff. So we did a show at Taste Merchants, which I don't know if that...
I don't know that place either. Is that in Dunedin?
In Dunedin.
Okay.
I don't know if it exists anymore. So there's a little venue in Dunedin and we did a cabaret there.
Yep.
And then we went to Dog with Two Tails for a drink afterwards.
Yep.
And I was just chatting to the bar staff and trying to be like, I need a name. I don't have a name. I'm just doing what I do, but I need a whole nother persona to kind of make it a real thing. And so Stella came from like the stars. Del Lure came from allure and to lure. So there's kind of like, I don't know, this like whole illusion that I'm going to like draw you in and I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Alluring
or
someone.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a siren.
Like
Bang.
exactly. Yeah. So then from there, it kind of, the name was created and then the personality kind of grew a lot from that.
Ah, okay.
As I like,
so it's a work in
performed more
progress.
And, it like I guess a bit less now.
Pretty
like it's
defined now.
Yeah, it's a pretty kind of established character.
Yeah.
Whereas like back then it was like, yeah, that sounds cool. We'll just do that.
When you were creating this character, did you like kind of write it down as you were going? Like actually
I have
making it concrete?
So I worked with a photographer
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to kind of give her an idea of what I was about. So I wrote like a bio about like what I do. Yeah. And so then I sent that to her to be like, this is what I want to capture in these photos. And from there, I've written it down for bios to like advertise myself for shows.
Yeah.
And if a producer's like, what do you do? Who are you? Something that I can kind of flick off and be like, this is...
Almost like a press release, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Right.
Almost, yeah.
And so you wrote that yourself, or did you get anyone else involved? Yeah. So you've done most of it yourself, the character development.
Yeah, lots of it. It's definitely been like a journey, like performing with Lads on Tour is definitely where I started and definitely what kind of grew me as a performer and grew this character to a place that I could take it to Melbourne and be like, hi, I'm this established kind of performer that has this established character.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
Have you got any other characters or just the one character?
Just the one.
Yeah. Is that something you've ever considered doing? Expanding
kind of
characters?
I don't know. I don't really know what I do that for. Maybe one day. Lots of people rebrand and things. So
yeah, right.
We'll see how we go.
Would you have any advice into how you would, if someone wanted to develop a dancing character and use it for, well, not necessarily cabaret dancing, but just dancing in general?
Depends. It depends what you want to do. Like I wouldn't, if I was like a professional ballerina, I wouldn't.
Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. But for example, for burlesque and cabaret, it's quite common you create a stage name and then it's almost like being a different person when you perform.
Yeah.
Like you almost kind of lose.
An alter ego, like.
Yeah, but like I don't worry about like the washing and the dishes and what I'm going to have for dinner.
Yeah,
when
right.
I'm there, I'm kind of just very engaged in what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of, I guess, why it's another character.
Well, it kind of reminds me of, if I could make a comparison to sports, like whenever we were about to play a rugby game or something, it was like boots on, switch on.
Yes.
So it's kind of like
That's
wig
so-
on, character on.
It's so true, yeah. And like we'll put the makeup on and still kind of not feel quite there, and then I'll put the wig on and I'm like, yeah, she's here, ready to go. Like,
Cool. So
Yeah.
being as a dancer, it must require a bit of like, is there quite a lot of body maintenance that you have to do?
more than I should.
Yeah, right.
Like-
So what is your body maintenance then?
Oh, nothing at the moment. I eat a
Nothing.
lot.
Yeah.
No, like
Do you have a diet of anything?
no,
Or?
I just eat.
Yeah,
just really love
Get the
food.
food in.
Yeah.
Love the foods.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
So much good food in Melbourne too. No, I think there should be, but it's like anything physical. Like it's more the mental thing of like healthy body, healthy mind. Like when you look after yourself properly, you obviously perform better and you obviously work better as a human being. So
yeah.
you're able to kind of like train better and practice for performances better, and you're a bit more switched on, so you can, like, I can do all my admin quicker. Whereas if I'm like not looking after myself and not eating properly,
Yeah.
everything's harder. So it's not like, it's like body maintenance, I would say, is just kind of look after yourself a bit, you know.
Is there any like specific workout regimen that you go through, or
No, I like yoga. I like doing yoga. That's
Yeah.
good.
smack out some yoga?
Yeah. No,
I'm on that buzz, eh?
love
What
it.
got you into
so
that?
good. Just being in Melbourne and being
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
started when
always,
you got here?
yeah, it's always something I kind of wanted to do and didn't really do in Dunedin.
Mhm.
And then getting here, I was like, I'm gonna do yoga,
Yeah.
and I
Ooh.
just did.
What do you like about yoga?
I like that it's movement, but it's meditation at the same time. So you can kind of, you don't have to think about it.
Mhm.
And I think because I dance a lot for like income now,
Yeah,
it definitely has become like a bit of a job sometimes.
yeah.
So it's almost
naturally.
like, yeah, so it's almost like if I'm dancing a lot and then I want to go to a dance class, I kind of almost have to force myself to go.
Yeah.
Whereas with yoga,
more
I
of a
can kind
chore.
of, yeah, I can be like,
So you
"This is
actually
something for
enjoy doing
me," and-
yoga, or is it?
Yeah.
Is that a chore as well?
No.
Okay.
Way less of a chore.
Daily?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So just when you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. With yoga, I found like, because there's obviously a lot of yoga is connected to spirituality and stuff, but I never actually discovered, I haven't got any spirituality value out of it myself. Like, I definitely just found more of it in terms of physical conditioning, and like
Yeah.
when I started doing yoga, I realized how tight everything was.
Yeah,
and I
it's
was just
good for a
like,
stretch. Yeah.
fuck, I need to fucking do something, man.
Yeah.
I'm ruined. My body's wrecked.
Yeah, it's good for that.
So like,
yeah.
I actually find it quite a painful process. I see it. I probably view it more as a chore, but I try to do it every day.
That's
Because,
good. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, I want to be able to like move when I'm older and shit.
It's definitely, it is a workout. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying you don't have to work hard to do it, but it's almost in a way, it's a bit more low impact.
Yeah, it's a different type of
It's
workout.
a different
eh?
kind. Yeah. Especially, so like vinyasa, for example, where you're moving the whole time. You're kind of in this like flow state,
Yeah,
which is really good for getting your body moving and keeping it moving. And I always forget that I'm going to be sore until the next day. Then I'm like, this is fucking pain. But it's not like, I'm not like going to the gym and like pumping weights and doing stuff that's really high impact and like hard
yeah.
for your body. So
yeah, it's interesting. It's almost just the stretching is it's a different type of exercise, eh? And that must tie in a lot with dancing. Like, is there a
Yeah.
flexibility element to
yeah,
dancing?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I teach that right from little as well.
Yeah,
like,
good option. Nice.
Yeah, we do all of our stretches and
Yeah.
like, yeah, lots of them are like, it's really sore. And I'm like, but it's really like good for our bodies
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
able to move
Yeah.
this way.
If
Like,
it's sore, it's probably good. Like,
I
well, there's a
guess-
good type of
yeah,
sore,
there's a
eh?
good type of, I know that sounds dumb, but
Yeah.
there is a good type of pain because it's like the muscles are stretching.
Yeah.
You know, you don't obviously want to injure anything.
It's hard to know, like, if you're pushing it too hard.
Yeah,
though.
and like I'm really careful, I'm really gentle with my little ones to kind of feel their body
Yeah.
and where they, like if they're doing a stretch and I'm guiding them through that. If at any point they start to feel like proper pain
Yeah.
or their body starts to really resist the stretch, that's when we kind of let go and
Chill out.
chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. I think we'll close out this first part.
Yeah, cool.
So, do you have a recommended song for the listeners? I'm
Do
putting
I
you on
have
the
a
spot.
recommended song? Oh,
Anything tasty on the listening so far?
I don't know. What do you want? What kind
Anything.
of
Anything.
Oh my
Whatever
gosh.
pops to head.
A tasty song.
There's lots out there.
There's so many songs.
Give us something juicy.
I'm trying to think what's good in Melbourne bands at the moment.
Hmm.
Maybe I really like "Take It Off" by Hot Sludge Fun Day.
There
That's
you go.
cute. That's a good.
Go have a listen.
That's a good Melbourne band.
Check it out. We'll be back soon. And we're back. Straight into a little segment that I do at the start of part 2. Curious question.
Whoa.
Okay. You've got 1,000 clones of yourself. What do you do with them?
1,000 clones.
Yep.
Form a dance troupe.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Holy shit, man. Because you could...
That would be huge.
And I'm kind of supposing that with the clones, you're all going to be like thinking the same. So you're going to be able to like move in harmony so well.
And like, well, it's like we were literally just talking about how, like that's your whole life when dancing becomes your whole life.
Yeah.
I could just train them from the get go.
You could.
And they would just be dancers forever. So they would be so good. And imagine what you could do with 1,000 people in one show.
Totally. That'd be a big show.
That'd be huge.
I'm also kind of supposing that these clones are going to know everything that you already know. So I don't even think you're going to have to train them.
Done.
Yeah.
Sorted.
So
That's what I would do.
Just straight in there.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. 1,000 clones of myself. I don't know what I'd do. Probably just real boring stuff. Just
Like,
make them do the boring stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Go.
I guess, but like there'd be way more washing and like cooking to do because you have to feed them. That's a lot.
They still have to be a person.
They still have to like make money.
Yeah, in fact, I'd probably get sick of them. To be honest, if they're
Yeah,
exactly
1,000
like
is
me.
a lot.
1,000 of me. Ugh.
Send them out into
shit.
the world.
Yeah, go do your own thing.
Do their thing.
See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brunswick.
Yes.
Give us the rundown. What it's like to live out there.
I love it. I love Brunny. Yeah, it's good. It's north side. It's close to the city. So much good
How
food.
close is it to the city?
It's like 20 minutes on the tram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm right by like
That's hella
Parliament
chill.
Station. And, like, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's close. It's close to everything. Location's good. Lots of good food. It's really like hip. Like there's 100 record stores and really
Yeah.
good coffee and up shops and all of that. Like
Really good food. You see.
really good food.
Stop there for a sec. What's your favourite type of food you had in Melbourne?
Oh,
If
don't
you
know.
can, if you can.
I don't know if I
pinpoint it.
can.
Feel ya. Is there any
Right.
good places out in Brunswick that you'd recommend, just off the top of your head?
Teta Mona is good. That's
What type of cuisines?
Lebanese. That's really good food. Lots of like hummus and bread and
Yeah.
yeah.
Love me some hummus.
What else is really good in Brunswick? The Beast. Beast is like a bar on
Haven't heard
Lygon
of it.
Street. Super good. They do like pub foods, like really good burgers.
Yeah.
And they do on Mondays like a vegan soul food night. And so you can get literally everything you've ever dreamed of vegan.
Yo.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
I
else?
know.
What else is going on out there?
Lots of gigs. It's pretty close. We're right kind of on the cusp of like Fitzroy, which is all gig venues and
Yeah.
bars and yeah.
Do you hit a few gigs? Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. I quite like to go watch some live music. We're
Yeah.
pretty close to all of that stuff. So
Are you in a flat or you got like
yeah.
just a place to yourself?
Nah, in a share house
Okay.
in like a flat. So
How many people in your house?
there's 4 of us.
Okay.
Yeah. There's 4 of us, which
So
is good.
do you live with your partner?
Yeah. So me
So
and my
you're-
partner and then 2 other people as well.
Are they just got a room each then? So it's like a 3-bedroom house?
Just 3-bedroom. Yeah.
Is it
It's-
expensive out there? How much you pay for
We
rent per month?
pay $5.50 a month, but obviously like my partner and I share a room,
Yeah.
so that kind of cuts those costs,
Sick.
which is always good.
Yeah, that's gangster.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's like 800, 700 and something a month, so it's not bad,
Yeah.
especially because our location is really good.
Yeah.
Like it's really close.
yeah.
Um,
It's quite. I think it's generally more expensive out there than it is out west. I think.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Because
think
what do you pay
I pay $130 here with all bills.
a month?
Yeah. Oh no, a week.
I was
Sorry.
like
Yeah.
130 a month. That's a joke, right?
Wow, that would be good. But no, I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy with that as well. to be
130 a week
honest.
with bills is pretty good.
It's pretty damn
Yeah,
solid.
I think we pay it's like 140, but that's not including bills. So
Yeah.
you kind of it all like racks up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. This is a nice house. This is way bigger than my house too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just like a big backyard too.
That's good.
And we have there's someone that lives in that little. I don't know if you've seen when you're coming in. It kind of looks like a garage, but there's like a
Yeah.
little bit out there. There's like an outhouse, and so
Oh, yeah.
we have a person that lives out there too. But it's completely self.
Sufficient. So
Yeah,
they cook
sufficient
and
is
they
the
do
word.
everything.
Yeah. So we
that's
actually
cool.
don't like share the house with them, but yeah, I'm liking this house. At the moment.
Yeah.
It's good,
That's
and
nice.
we have little Chief going too.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely couldn't. We're talking about getting like an old cat or something to just like come and
Are you a
hang out
cat
with
or a
us.
dogger?
I'm a dog person.
Yeah.
I actually fun fact, I really love lizards. Like if I could have a dream pet, it would be a lizard.
Random.
They're fucking cool, man. That's
They're
so
trippy.
cool. That's so cool. And snuggly. Like you can get real cuddly lizards.
What is it about a lizard that
I don't
gets
know.
you going?
They're just kind of they're fascinating. They're pretty fast. Like,
Yeah.
I find them really cute.
Have you seen a snake over here?
Not in real life at the zoo, but not in. Yeah.
Neither. Like, I thought
Nah.
I might have by now, but
Nah. I went out to Daylesford. So
where's that?
Daylesford is just out of it's like regional Victoria. And that is where we saw like a Huntsman Spider, like a big, fluffy, giant, huge.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
fuck. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was actually just talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have a phobia for spiders.
Yeah.
Do you?
Like, I don't love them.
Yeah.
Don't
But
love
you're not
them.
like, eek.
I'm a bit ick. I'm not like,
Do
it's not my worst fear. Like, I'm not going to cry and scream. And
you have like a animal that you're most scared of?
I think I'm more scared of snakes than spiders.
Yeah, they are pretty scary. Anyway, spiders. I'm not really eek about spiders at all.
Yeah.
And just because back home in NZ, it's like, well, they can't
They're
kill
gonna hurt
me.
you.
Nothing's gonna kill me
But
over here.
here, like, everything will kill you.
I know.
That's the thing.
That's the fucking.
That's the thing.
That's the problem. I know. So like back home, I see a spider. I'm like, chill. I see a spider here, no matter what it is, because I don't know anything about spiders. I'm just
Yeah.
like, chill. Wait, is that chill? Is that spider chill
Yeah.
over there, or is that gonna kill me?
Especially because lots of them are big over here, even if they're not harmful.
Totally.
Like, huntsmen won't hurt you,
Mhm.
but they're huge.
Mhm.
They're really, really big. So that is enough for me to be like,
I haven't seen a big spider, but I imagine that they're hella more scary than a bloody daddy long
way
legs.
more, way more.
Yeah. Is there anything that you miss about New Zealand apart from people?
Mostly as the people. I miss the greenery, like the trees.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah.
It is beautiful back home. isn't
Yeah,
it?
and like Brunswick is it's not quite in the city, but it's very, very city life. Like
It is, yeah.
it's still quite like busy roads. Like we're off Sydney Road, which
Yeah.
is like pretty hectic.
So busy, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, so like it is pretty busy where we live, and there's not a lot. Like there's a couple, but there's not a lot of trees. So I miss that. Like where I lived in Dunedin, you had to walk up this like set of stairs that are basically in the bush.
Where did you live?
Lived in Pine Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Up kind of that way. So yeah, so we used to have to walk literally through the bush, up a set of stairs, and then through the garden to get like through the Woodhall Gardens to get home.
Something you can definitely take for granted from New Zealand
Easily.
as well, eh?
Yeah.
Because I was constantly surrounded by that because being from a small town, there's a lot of greenery around. And I
Yeah.
lived on a farm for a bit and still have the farm,
Yeah.
which is so beautiful. Like,
Yeah,
I
of
just
course,
forgot.
yeah.
Like, I just went home recently and was just on the farm. I was like, holy shit,
It
bro.
was beautiful.
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
You're right.
Did the same. Like over Christmas, I went home. And so I've got family in Wellington.
Yeah.
So we're at my dad's house in Wellington, and just looking out over like the water and being able to see, like we're right by the airport, so being able to
Yeah.
like see the city across the water and being able to see just like surrounded by trees and greenery. It was like, this is like, as Kiwis, we have such a connection to that. Like
Yeah.
we have such like a calling to the land.
So-
But I feel like I miss that a lot being here.
And something that, like I was saying, not necessarily take for granted, but you won't even recognize
You
that you
don't
have
notice.
a connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until I went and lived in America for a bit, you know?
Yeah.
I
Of
was just like,
course.
because I was like doing the whole travel thing. I was like, oh, I've got to see as much shit as possible.
Yeah.
And then I went back home. I was like,
Oh my god.
I haven't even like looked around my country properly.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this place is fucking beautiful. bro."
Beautiful. It is beautiful. Yeah, it is.
So you reckon that would be the thing you miss most?
That's the thing I
Like,
miss the most is probably just, being able to kind of be surrounded by
the natural beauty
the
type
trees.
element.
Yeah. And just kind of, like feeling that.
Have you
back in the
found
land.
anything that simulates that over here? Like, have you been on any cool adventures?
We went to, probably what's the last adventure? Went out to a little, again, kind of regional Victoria. It's called Tacoma.
Okay,
Um,
haven't heard of it.
do you know, have you heard of Puffing Billy
No.
being here? Puffing Billy is this like train that goes through like the bush in regional Victoria.
Right.
And being out there was probably the closest
To New Zealand.
to New Zealand.
Yeah.
But even then, like we went on a big bushwalk and stuff, but even then it was nowhere near the same, and you had
Yeah.
to kind of go somewhere to get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went out to Brighton Beach,
Oh yeah.
probably a week ago. That was beautiful. That was really nice. And because it was such a sunny day, it was nice to, I don't know, the beaches in Melbourne aren't very
Beachy.
good.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Eh?
So that one
No.
was it was kind of nice to be that close to the water and be like, that's kind of a part of what I miss about being home.
It's a
But
sad true fate. Like what you're saying, the beaches aren't that
yeah,
good here. It's just
they're
like
not.
all that natural beauty stuff. It's just suboptimal.
So
It's
true.
like, oh yeah, this is cool. It's cooler back home.
It's all right, yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
I went and did like Great Ocean Road, and I was just like,
Yeah, it's all right.
so yeah, it's okay. It's
We
a cool
did-
coast,
yeah.
I guess. It's
When
not
I
that
first
cool, right?
when I first moved here, someone took me and my partner to do it, and they were like, "I will show you this bit. It's really beautiful. This is really pretty." And we got there and we're like, "What?" Like we'd just moved here.
Yeah, high
So I
expectations.
think we had
eh?
such high hopes about this beautiful spot in Victoria it just wasn't. It didn't do it for me. But
Yeah, that's so annoying.
mm,
Is there anything else that you like? Do you go on adventures often, or?
not really because I don't have a car.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah,
I
but
don't need a car here.
nah,
Straight up, eh? Like
Yeah.
public transport's that good.
it's really good. Yeah, and I don't know. I travel quite a bit on public transport for like work and stuff, which I don't mind doing. To be
I actually kind of
honest.
like it.
I kind of like it too. It's like, I don't know. It gives me a bit of downtime to read my book or like,
Yeah, hard.
yeah,
I smack out a podcast.
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Music.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try talk to someone if you're in the mood.
I get up quite early for a lot of stuff, so at 6 a.m. people aren't really
yeah,
like,
yeah, they're not in that mood.
no,
Yeah. Oh, that is
No.
early, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Shit.
depends on the day, but
Is there anything
yeah.
else that you like to do around Melbourne for fun in general then? So you like to go to gigs, you're dancing a lot?
yeah, gigs are good, dancing's good. I really like. There's lots of cool bars and things here. Yeah, I don't know.
Been to like any like, I don't know, comedy, art galleries?
Kind of just the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like watching musicals.
Oh,
That
yeah.
are here because they're quite accessible.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you,
yeah.
what do you mean by that? I haven't been to a musical here.
No, they're
No.
pretty like. So they happen quite often. Obviously, lots of musicals come to Melbourne because it's
Yeah.
like a big city, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's good to kind of for something different. Like they're pretty expensive, so it's not something you go to all the time. But
You don't just nip into a musical.
yeah, you're not just like, oh, what are you doing? Should we go to a musical? Like it's definitely it has to be something you really want to see, and like you got to pay.
How much?
Right.
How much do they normally cost?
I don't know. The last one, so I went to see Muriel's wedding, which is like a
Yeah.
classic Australian, yeah. And that was like $75 on special
Oh, it's not
or
too bad.
something. So it was okay, but it was like, I don't know. Don't just like bust out $75 to
Where was that?
in the city. I can't remember what theatre it was.
Right.
Her Majesty's Theatre, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, there's quite a few of them. Like Harry Potter's still playing at the moment, and
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that a musical?
it's a musical. It's
Oh,
two
trippy.
parts.
The
Oh, it's a
Cursed-
play actually.
Is that
Maybe
the
it's
Cursed
just a play.
Child?
Yeah, 2 parts to it.
Isn't it like sold out forever?
They released a whole bunch of new tickets.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I
You
haven't
gonna hit
gone, but I don't know.
You're Harry Potterer?
Like I am, but I'm not obsessed.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, you're not in.
I'm not in.
Have you read the books?
No, I read the first 3,
Mm.
but a very long time ago.
I haven't read them.
No.
I've just watched the movie, but I'm a big advocate for the movies.
Yeah, they're good. They
Yeah.
are good.
I just like one of my mates once told me like, you haven't read the books. What are you doing? Like, your life is incomplete.
No,
like."
it's not.
It's like I don't know. I feel like I can read something better.
Speaking of movies, we watched all 3 Lord of the Rings movies.
In a row.
We watched 2 in a row. We watched number 2 and number 3 in a row, and it was both extended versions, which is like
No way.
9 hours of
Holy
like
shit.
yeah, it's
Ah,
funny.
I love the Lord of the Rings one.
I love, and so much of it was really nostalgic. Like it was like we were looking at it and being like, "Is that Central Otago?" And like so much just
Hard.
feeling that like greenery, and being like, "Ah, that's so beautiful." Like that's our country.
What's your favorite Lord of the Rings?
I don't know. It's all
Come
good.
on, come on.
I like lots of elements of it. I like the second one because it's definitely the most dramatic when there's a
like
big
the second one
battle
too,
and
yeah.
But then I like at the end of the third one how it's all everyone's like crying and they're all in love and they make it
Happy
and
ending.
like yeah. And then he's got like Sam's got like a little family
Yeah,
and
yeah. Do you have a favorite character?
I always thought it would be cool. Like when it first came out, there was lots of behind the scenes stuff to do with Gollum, like how they made his kind of physical stuff, like all the CGI behind that,
His dance.
his dance, which I would love to do. I'd love to do a movie where
golem.
I could, just like crawl around on the floor,
Be a
like
creeper.
be a weird kind of creature.
Yeah. Kind of
Yeah.
like a spider, actually.
Kind of, yeah.
Spider-like movements. Eh?
Yeah. Lots of kind of, and like weird, like, his like spine move. I don't know, it's weird. It's
Who was
cool.
it? Who was it that wrote Lord of the Rings?
J.R. Tolkien?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Because The Hobbit's a prequel, right?
Yes.
Did he write The Hobbit first?
I'm not sure, but The Hobbit is a kid's book.
Ah,
The Hobbit is a kid's book. It's one little book
man, they
made into
really
3
made
movies.
that.
They really stretched it. Whereas The
Stretched
Lord
that
of the
out.
Rings is like one book per movie.
Yeah, yeah, and big books, aren't they?
Big.
Have you read those?
No.
Right.
I read it. I got The Hobbit read to me as a bedtime story
Oh,
when I was
real?
a child. Yeah.
Trippy. What have you been reading lately?
I'm reading. What am I reading at the moment? I'm reading the Portrait of Dorian Gray, the Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde,
Okay.
which is cool.
What's the little snip?
Little snippet. I've literally just started,
Oh,
but
okay, yeah.
this guy called Dorian Gray gets like a picture commissioned of himself, and it ends up something to do with the Fountain of Youth, and so he stays young and beautiful, but the picture starts to age.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm literally just in the very beginning of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
so I'm not sure. But I've been reading a lot of there's an author called Murakami. He's a Japanese author. He's quite well known. So reading lots of his stuff at the moment,
Right.
which is good.
Mainly fictional reader?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever read non-fiction?
No.
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 What is it about fiction that you like? Do you like the whole dramatic side of it? Or do
Yeah,
you
I
think there's like a
just-
deeper truth to fiction than there is?
Ooh, so deep.
No,
No, I don't know. I just like the story behind it. Like I like kind of those like fairy tales and all of those stories. I feel like
Interesting, though.
nonfiction is too. Like I do read nonfiction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do, but I find it much easier to kind of like get into a world.
Immersed in the story.
Yeah.
Why do you think you like stories? Do you think that people
don't
in
know.
general just maybe think in stories? Do you
I think it's a part of what I do is storytelling. Like a part of like
yeah,
dance
right.
and theatre
That's
and
the theatre
all of
side
that
of it,
stuff.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really kind of like I was saying, like conveying a message. Like it's really storytelling and it's really
Yeah.
kind of
Story is a message,
yeah.
isn't it? What's
So
the moral of the story?
and a lot of my teaching stuff as well. Like when I teach my ballet kids, like it's very much like and reach up into the cupboard and get your key and lock away all of your like
Yeah,
your tummy
yeah, right.
muscles, hold them nice and strong,
Yeah.
and like open up your toes so we make a big happy smile with our toes. Like a lot of that is storytelling too. So
Yeah, it is, eh?
maybe it's just the way my brain works.
I think it might be the way that all of our brains work, eh? To be
Yeah.
honest.
People have been
We're brought up
telling
on
stories.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
for
so
centuries.
like even before we started recording them. I think that we've always been telling stories.
Yeah.
It's like at best, is a story all entertainment? Is that what entertainment is? A story?
I think a part of it is. I think it also comes from trying to convey a message. So lots of like bedtime stories traditionally we're trying to like help our kids learn things or like things like that. And trying to like lessons and legends and myths are all a way of like teaching.
Maybe that's how we learn.
Yeah, I think it's a part of it.
It definitely hits home more for me when you just like storify something. It stays in your head longer or
Yeah.
something like.
Yeah.
But I personally probably enjoy reading nonfiction more myself.
Do you? What are
Yeah.
you reading?
Reading The Rape of Nanking.
Yeah.
Ever heard about? So it's like they call it the forgotten Holocaust of World War II,
Mhm.
and it's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I'm reading it and just like it's about the Japanese taking over Nanking, which was a Chinese city,
Mhm.
and I think it was the capital actually. And so they were there for it was just in a few weeks, and they killed as many people as more people than what the atomic bombs did
Wow.
in about a few weeks, and it was really bad. Like, oh, it's disgusting. Like the river was literally running red with blood. They would like dissect babies into 4 parts.
Mm.
They would like it's so bad. They would practice do like live bayonet practice on people.
Yeah.
Copious amounts of rape going on, and
Yeah.
then they actually like made family members rape each other and made the other family members watch them do
Yeah,
it.
it's awful.
Just real fucked up shit that you don't even know is
Yeah,
possible,
It's happening, yeah.
and it's hardly been documented. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
Why? Why is it such a secret?
so the theory is, I haven't read the whole thing. I think this is what it is. So people were so caught up with the whole blaming Germany for World War II a lot, and
Yeah.
and then Japan kind of got a free pass a little bit because they're
Yeah.
too busy blaming Germany, and then it was also just a historical thing, like the government didn't acknowledge that they did that. I don't know if they have acknowledged it yet, but Japan was just in denial of all those
Yeah,
facts. They
yeah.
denied everything, and so no one had any proof. And then I don't know, just like weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
I haven't read it enough, but it makes you wonder, like, what are all those things that we haven't heard about?
And it's one of those things, like if you stop telling a story, people stop hearing that story and then it just fades away.
And yeah, it does, eh?
You know? Like
I'm pretty sure I heard the other day that people aren't, like, kids don't even know what the Holocaust was now, you know?
yeah, as
Just
soon
because
as you
it's less
stop
relevant.
talking about it. Yeah.
Other things to talk about, I guess, as well. Like, how do you
Yeah.
prioritize what you talk about? Like, what parts of history should we hold on to and not forget? It's hard because
It was tough.
it hits more of a note with some people. Like, personally, the Holocaust doesn't hit like a personal note for me. I like
Yeah.
think about it and I'm just like, that shit's fucked up.
Yeah.
That shit's fucked up. Let's try not do that again.
That's what I was going to say, is I think that's why it's important we talk about it,
Yeah.
so that we know that this has happened in our world, and we know that this is something that we don't ever want to do again. We
Yeah.
never want to kind of like
It's got to stay relevant.
subject other people. Yeah, in a way it does. Like, and because of how like things are kind of going in the world at the moment, in terms of like politics, I guess, you could almost say that you've got to kind of keep those things relevant so that we don't, so that when we
Don't
can
fall into the
spot-
same trap,
Yeah,
eh?
we spot our politicians being a bit sneaky.
Scary, isn't
We
it?
know. Yeah.
Do you
Well-
fuck with politics much?
No, a little more in New Zealand.
Yeah,
like
right.
when the New Zealand election's on,
Yeah.
that's kind of something that I follow quite like closely. But in terms of Australian politics, like I should more than I do. It's more just that because I can't vote, I'm
Don't
less
care as much,
yeah,
huh?
I'm less in touch with like policies. And I know at the last election I was kind of just a bit disheartened by everything that happened. In terms of the government that we have now, which are pretty slimy.
See, I don't know anything about the politics here.
Yeah.
Except for the fact I was working at Triple R, volunteering at Triple R
Yeah.
for a bit, the radio
Yeah,
station.
yeah.
And I was taking calls for Bigsy, who does this a talk hour, pretty much, where he just
Yeah.
takes calls and stuff. So I was just taking the calls and then passing them on to him. But Triple R is pretty like heavy left leaning politics, so I definitely got like that side of it, and they were definitely pissed off about the election and
Yeah.
stuff. But that's about the extent to my knowledge, and I wasn't even really paying that much attention. I
Yeah.
just don't. Politics is a weird one, eh? Because we should pay attention to politics,
We should.
but it's also, man, it can get you. Because I got real into American politics for a bit,
Yeah.
and then I just realized maybe I could better use my time instead of trying to like worry about this stuff. Because you
Yeah.
can get too invested in it, I reckon. Like,
It depends how you're getting invested. Like, I like following New Zealand politics and what's going on because that, for me, like, I want to end up in New Zealand eventually.
yeah.
So it's
yeah.
pretty important to kind of, and because I can vote in New Zealand still, like,
Yeah.
obviously I still want to kind of keep in touch with everything that's going on and making sure that the country is,
Good. Or
yeah,
as good
going
as
in a
we
way
can be,
that, yeah, we kind of want and that is sustainable for the future.
Yeah.
Whereas in terms of of American and maybe Australian politics as well, I kind of, like, I dip my toes, like, I kind of listen out and
Yeah.
see what's big in the news, but otherwise I just don't
The other thing,
spend the energy.
the good thing about New Zealand is we're so small. It's like the politics are a
Yeah.
lot easier to manage.
Yeah.
Whereas in like America and Australia, how the fuck
It's
do you govern the
huge.
whole
I know.
country?
But they've
that-
got such a team behind them too. Like,
What was that, sorry?
especially in America, there's such a team of politicians that are like behind Trump and behind like his whole kind of
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, both ways as well. Like it's all team based.
Mm.
It's definitely a case of like who you know.
Yeah.
Once again,
Yeah, it is.
goes
Yeah,
back
it's
to
so
that.
true.
But that's what I really like about New Zealand. I like how small we are.
Yeah.
The
they are
fact that
small.
we can, it's more localized, I guess.
Yeah.
And just the fact that fucking Melbourne is the size of New Zealand population wise.
I know.
It's one just
Mental.
congested together. What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It
and
is
it
crazy.
feels like New Zealand's big when you're there, like the
Mm.
land mass, but it's so small. Have you done any other travel around Australia at all?
Not really. I've been to Perth and I performed in Adelaide earlier in the year.
Oh, yeah. What was Adelaide like?
Adelaide, I was only there for one day. It was
Oh, okay.
beautiful, but it reminded me of Christchurch.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
kind of the way that I could put it. Like, it was really beautiful. It was much smaller and much, much quieter than Melbourne, but it was still kind of like, I don't know, if it was in New Zealand, it would definitely be like a bustling city, kind of like Christchurch.
Yeah,
is.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it
I
was
haven't,
beautiful.
I haven't done much travel around Australia either. Well, while I'm here, when I was younger, I came over and stuff and
Mm,
did the whole Gold Coast thing mainly just for the weather,
Yeah.
chasing the weather.
Mhm.
Thinking about driving up the East Coast though.
Yeah.
To Brizzy. I don't know how long that takes.
yeah.
Probably a pretty big job, I'd say.
Yeah. It would be good though.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I was like, while I'm here, because in my head, probably want to end up in New Zealand as well
Yeah.
at some point. But while we're here, may as well like have a look around,
Yeah. Explore a bit and
see what's going on here.
Mm,
Yeah. Cool. I think we're all almost ready to close this out.
yeah. Chill.
So at the end, I do this thing called the high virtue test.
Mhm.
Okay, and so I just give you like two options, and then you just kind of pick which one you kind of lean more towards.
Okay.
Okay. No in betweens.
I was gonna say I'm nervous.
You should be. Okay. Hoard or OCD?
Oh. Hoard.
Comfort or adventure?
These are hard.
They're made for that.
Oh. I don't know. Because I'm so in between.
Comfort's mean, adventure's good too.
Oh. Adventure.
Okay. Compassion or competition?
Compassion.
Harmony or honesty?
Honesty.
And group discussion or solo discussion or like one-on-one discussion?
Group discussion.
Purpose or pleasure?
Oh. These are so hard.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Happy and sad or content?
Happy and sad.
Question or answer?
Question.
Power to the individual or power to the group?
Power to the group.
And then last one, yes or no?
Yes.
Nice one. Thanks. Bang! Slap, Chief. You're awake. Hey, thanks for tuning in, team. Thank you so much for coming on, Megan. It was
Thanks
great.
for having me.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I think we're going to go enjoy our Saturday afternoon.
Sounds good.
Do it. See you later.